Melanie. Thanks so much for stopping by our channel. This has been a super fun collaboration. I've really enjoyed all of the videos that have come before me. And if you haven't heard about the collaboration yet, Go for Green Living got a whole bunch of us homestead channels together. And what we're doing is talking about our view of homesteading versus prepping, and how that fits into our life and how it relates to us on our property. And it started with Dirtpatcheaven back on the 5th. There's a playlist on both Go for Green Living and on Dirtpatcheaven, so you could go straight there, and if you haven't watched them all already, just click that playlist and it'll play through the whole 9 yards. There's been some really great information, a lot of really super channels. And I have to tell you though, one of my favorites was Go for Green Living. They did an awesome skit that I think just perfectly illustrates the point that we've all been talking about. So make sure you check that out, and go subscribe to everybody in the list. It's been a super lineup and you won't be disappointed. So the fun of this collaboration is that it's kind of a chain video series, in that the first person, who is Julianne, asked the question, I think it went out to, now I'm going to get it mixed up, I'll put all the links below. She asked 2 questions to the next person in line. They answered those questions, and then they threw out 2 more questions to the next person in line, and so on and so forth. So my questions came from the Pratt family Homestead. They put their video up yesterday, and I've got them on my phone because I can't ever remember anything. So the first question was, what is the silliest thing you have ever done on your homestead or during your homesteading and prepping lifestyle? And the second was, what's the best choice that you've made that has benefited your homesteading or prepping lifestyle? So super awesome questions that I will answer. Tina over at my homesteading project is who's next in line after me. So my questions go out to her. If you guys haven't visited her channel yet, she's awesome. She's got all kinds of ideas about frugal living, how to stay on a budget. She follows the Dave Ramsey program. She's got a lot of information on that, but she's also done a lot of her own building with her boys. Her husband is disabled, so there's a lot of things he's not able to help with. So for all you women out there who want to make this a reality but don't have a lot of support maybe on the infrastructure, would really find her interesting. She does weaving and spinning, or not weaving, knitting and spinning, and all kinds of super great things. So anyway, go check her out. So the questions that I sent to Tina are, how does a frugal lifestyle fit in with homesteading? And then, what was the catalyst for your homesteading journey? So I would love to hear the answers to those, and that's all for the questions. So I guess now I need to answer mine. So the silliest thing that I've done on the homestead would definitely be, I have kind of a struggle with getting the animals before we get the pen or the coop or get anything set up. I get all excited and gung-ho, and I tend to just bring things home or I'll just go quickly order them and think, oh, we'll get that all set up before they get here. I'm rarely set up for animals when the animal shows up, and that is definitely not the best way to do it. I guess it can kind of push you to get things done, but it can be kind of a trial in between. So we are working on being much more specific about our efforts with animals and getting things set up before we make commitments and before we go and pick up animals. And the most beneficial thing that we've done for our homesteading or prepping lifestyle has been our move to where we are right now. So we were in southern Arizona. It was a very harsh environment, and there were people that were growing gardens there, and my hat is off to them. They are amazing people, and I know there's a channel that's called, what is it? Hot Homestead Arizona or something. I don't remember what it is. I'm subscribed to them. And they blow my mind with what they can accomplish in Arizona, and I know there's a ton of people down there that are really making it work. And my hat is off to them, because that is hard living. So we moved up north where there's lots of water and things grow easily, and the winters are hard enough that it kills off the frost and also gives you a break so that you're not having to do so much year round. That's another thing I really love about it. So that was definitely the most beneficial thing that we've done in our homesteading journey. So now I want to take a little bit of time and talk to you about the whole concept of this collaboration, which was homesteading versus prepping. Now, I don't want to put down anybody in their efforts for where they're at right now, because I think we all are on our own journey and our own paths to get to the place where, you know, to fulfill the dreams that we have in our hearts. And so I'll kind of explain to you our thoughts and where we're at on our journey and how we came to those conclusions and why we feel like it's good for us. My husband is a little more of the prepper mentality than I am, but I think that's really typical because it's the man's job to bring security and to secure a future and to provide for his family, you know, to make sure that his family is protected and safe. So I think those things come really naturally to men. Food storage has definitely been more my priority, which does come along with prepping, because I'm more of the nurturing, giving, you know, feeding role in our family. So, so I'll give you guys just a little bit of background. There are also a couple videos that if you are more interested in our story and how we came to these positions on things, that I will link to on my video. One of them is our top 10 reasons for homesteading. If you want to know how we got here and all of that, that's a super one to kind of find out who we are and our beliefs. The other one would be the My Story video, because a lot of this happened because of chronic illness that I have and some issues that we had going on with the kids, and so we needed to provide really healthy food for our family. So there's a couple ways that we ended up on this path. My husband was working for the government, and it just wasn't, you know, we went through all the times when there was the budget crisis, when they weren't writing a budget, and they still haven't written a budget. But they were withholding our paychecks and using us as a pawn in a political game, and it was really disconcerting that, you know, you just realize how fragile your actual existence is, and the existence that you're living, how unstable it is. And so that kind of drove us to try to become more self-sufficient. So for us, homesteading is really the ultimate prep, because let's say there was something that happened, there was some kind of an economic collapse, and you know, we are so dependent on our grocery stores to bring us food. You know, there's trucking systems, the highway systems, there's so many different things that could potentially go wrong. And then just not even to mention all of the things with the GMOs and all of the poisons that are in our food and how they're not disclosing them to the public. We really felt like it was time to take a much bigger responsibility for our own food. And so we are learning how to grow garden, and I will tell you guys, this is a process. So if there was something that happened where the food chain was shut down and the trucks didn't get through, or, you know, something happened with the supply line and the groceries didn't show up at the grocery store, people would not last very long, and there would quickly be chaos because you get hungry. And I've heard people make the argument of, well, you need to know the wild edibles in your place so that you can just forage, because gardening takes infrastructure. You have to have land, you have to have water and all this stuff, which I can understand that viewpoint. But earlier on in the year, you can watch the video where we hunted asparagus. And this year, I think we had some really serious asparagus hunters that moved into our area, because last year, places that were plentiful were picked bare every time we went to go pick them, so we had to kind of scavenge and find new places, which is good. I'm all for that. But there's a very small percentage of the community up here that actually goes and picks asparagus. So you can imagine if there was no other supply of food, people would be shooting each other over these little bits of asparagus. So I feel like knowing how to grow your own food is really, really important, and it is not something where you just throw a seed in the ground and instantly everything comes up and you have a great big harvest. There are weather issues. We had a frost and it wiped out some of our stuff and hurt some of our stuff, and we're having some mineral deficiencies, so we're learning about that, and there are so many components to growing. So trying to learn that when you're already hungry and you're already in an emergency situation is going to be incredibly stressful. And then, if you've never bred your animals before, you don't know if you have good breeding stock. If you, or you might not even know how to make sure that it happens, or you might not know how to care for the babies. Or care for the mama. There's so much to learn with all of this. So I think learning it a little bit at a time brings a lot of security to your family. And like I said, it's a long process. We didn't plop down here and know everything overnight, and we have so much more to learn. Second year of the garden is throwing us some curveballs that we didn't have last year, and we haven't raised any large livestock. I know a lot about them, but I haven't done any of it on my own. So that's all stuff that we're learning. And then, and I think another difference between prepping and homesteading, and perhaps this is just my perception, again, to all of you out there that are prepping, if that's the path that you're on and that's where you're at right now, I think it's super, because I think any steps that we take to make sure our family is secure is awesome. The thing I've struggled with is just this mindset of there's gonna be something that's gonna happen, and I have to be this certain amount prepared, and going to the extent of, drills all the time, and that's your lifestyle. I really struggle with that. I'm not somebody who wants to just live in fear all of the time. So for us, homesteading is a way that we can be prepared. We can feed the family the healthy food that we need so that our health thrives. We can give the kids an amazing education. They can learn to be ethical. They can learn to, they can learn to have a good work ethic. They can learn, what it is to grow your food, where it comes from, and we can pass those skills on to them. So there's all this learning, all this life to live, and that's the thing that I feel is the major difference, is right here on the homestead. It's been nothing but freedom and life, and we focus on the positive. We're learning, instead of preparing for a lockdown situation and drilling for a lockdown situation, or abandoning everything to go out to the forest. There is not enough meat in the forest to sustain everybody, and there are not enough mushrooms in the forest to sustain everybody. Without growing your own food and putting things away, canning things and stuff like that, there's just no way that everybody could exist. You couldn't feed the world on just what grows wild. So that, I feel, is the major difference between homesteading and prepping. And so I guess what it all boils down to is, for us, we feel like homesteading is the ultimate prep. And not only is it the ultimate prep, but it's a way to provide just an incredible experience and a positive growing up for our children, to accomplish the goals of preppers, but to have a very positive influence and not focus on, just the constant impending doom. It's important to be able to reproduce all of that stuff, and to be able to breed your animals, to be able to grow your vegetables, to be able to can so you can put it away, so that you can grow a big amount during the growing season and put it away for storage in the winter. So, we would love to hear from some of the preppers out there in the community. I know that there's a couple that subscribe to my channel. We'd love to hear from you guys, because maybe, we have wrong perceptions. And we would love for you to share your perspective on all of it and where you come from. Again, I think it is an awesome place to start. I love food storage. Food storage has saved our family, saved our budget, saved us from going into debt on so many occasions. And so I am all for it. But we want to be able to do all of this in a way that we can replicate, and a way that we can continue to just thrive and live life and continue this amazing adventure that we're on. So thank you guys for stopping by. It was so great to see you and have this great conversation. I want to hear from you in the comments what you think are, sorry about the cars. I want to hear from you guys in the comments what you think are the really important things to focus on. What's been important for your family? So I guess that's all, and we will see you guys again soon. Thanks so much.